It was disgusting. I was so angry with how I got treated. So at this point, I'm at the hospital in the trauma unit, and I'm left alone, which I get. You know, there's other trauma, there's other things, but of course, you know, nurses are coming in. I really was in and out of it, so I don't remember a whole lot. The first thing I really truly remember is trying to wipe blood off my face and out of my eye. And at that point, I still didn't understand what was going on. It didn't set in yet, but all I did was just, can someone, you know, I asked, I'm like, can someone please just wipe the blood out of my eye, please? Because, you know, I'm visually impaired and I need my glasses to see. I can see without my glasses, but not great. I don't have much vision in my right eye. And so my left eye is my good eye, and that's where the blood was just kind of pouring into my eye, and I just wanted someone to clean it out, you know? And the nurse said, we can't clean you, or we can't touch you. I don't know the exact verbiage that she used, but to me, it was communicated to me that they couldn't, you know, I didn't understand why. If any nurses or doctors that work in trauma or emergency, can you please explain that to me? If a patient asks if someone can just, you know, I just need to know how that works, that protocol. And so the next thing I remember is someone coming in to ask me, we need to get a hold of your family. Is there anyone else we can call? And my friend Jennifer, she'd just gotten a new phone. And I'm still stunned to this day how I memorized her number like I did. It just flew out of me. And I told them, call her. And she doesn't answer unknown calls, but she said something in her gut told her to answer this call. So she was walking into Walmart, and she answered the phone, and of course they told her, hey, da-da-da-da, you know, you need to come up here. And her husband came up there. She was about 6 months pregnant at the time with her little boy. And I can vividly remember what her and her husband were wearing. Why that was so significant to me, just seeing them and feeling instant comfort when she walked into that room. She was wearing a baby pink pregnancy shirt and some jeans, and her husband was wearing a plaid shirt and some khaki shorts. I can vividly just remember seeing them. And it still at this time did not register to me what was going on, but seeing her, I felt calmer and more comfortable, and she was really calm, and I'm so glad that she was there. She helped the physicians and nurses. She answered questions, of course, and she helped them get a hold of my husband and my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law worked for MedStar at the time. She worked with them until she retired, which is crazy because she's the one that would do my bill for the ambulance ride and all of that, which I just think that's kind of ironic. But they were able to somehow go through all these channels to get a hold of her, my mother-in-law, and my husband. And I had so many friends that showed up at the hospital. One of my dear friends, Renee, who is a nurse, she's an RN. I feel so comfortable with her taking care of me. She was in the room with me a lot when everyone was coming and going. She was, while everyone was in the waiting room, she was in the room with me a lot. I felt I wanted her in there. I wanted her presence. So, and then my friend Jolene, oh my gosh, I love her. She came up to the hospital too I don't know if her and Renee were together. My memory's still very foggy from that day. So at one point, after my husband, my dad showed up, I was bleeding through this pillow because the back of my head was busted open. I will insert pictures of my injuries, not too gory, but just kind of to show you guys, you know, what it looked like for me. But if you are triggered by those types of things, skip through this part. So, but I had busted the back of my head open, obviously, because that's where I landed. And I was bleeding through this pillow, and I just remember being cold, and I wanted another pillow because there was so much blood on this pillow. And we'd asked for another pillow, but no one ever brought us another pillow. And I remember Jolene, my friend Jolene, went to go search for a freaking pillow, and finally she found one, and it made me really happy at that point. And I also remember they were about to take me back. Obviously, if any sort of trauma you're gonna have, and I don't remember the exact timeline of these events. I don't remember the, you know, how everything, the sequence that everything happened in, but they were gonna take me back. I believe this was before everyone showed up at the hospital, but they were gonna take me back for x-rays, MRIs, CAT scans, just to see how much damage was done to my body and my head, or if I had any brain injuries or anything like that. Obviously, that's really important. And Jennifer, they were gonna give me morphine. Apparently they were going to be moving me, and if I was obviously I was going to be in pain. At this point, I didn't feel pain yet. I was just cold. I was still very I cannot describe how cold I was. Like, it was so cold. It wasn't bad enough to where I needed a blood transfusion, but I lost a lot of blood. I just remember being cold. That is the only thing that just, it still to this day, oh my gosh, gives me goosebumps. So they were gonna give me morphine, and I said, no, I don't want it. I do not like putting things in my body that don't belong there. And as someone who's had multiple surgeries and multiple, you know, antibiotics and drugs and things given to her growing up, I don't want to put that stuff in my body. I don't like it. And Jennifer was by my bedside, and she said, Deidre, they are going to move you. You are going to be in pain. It's something you're gonna want. And so I just said, okay, that's fine. Well, they gave me the morphine, and it burned. It felt warm and it burned. I didn't like it. I don't know if that's something that everyone feels, or I just didn't like it. It didn't help. I know some people are like, oh my gosh, give me the morphine. Give me a morphine drip. No, don't give me no. I didn't like it at all. It didn't help. The pain didn't quite, I can kind of vaguely remember when it just finally started to set in. So they took me back for x-rays, and they came back. I came back, of course, and there's a nurse that came in, and again, I think this may have been before the x-rays. I don't remember exactly the whole timeline of these things. But the nurse, one of the nurses was trying to take off my clothes, as if you were a baby laying down and you're gonna take off your shirt. You know, the babies, like, you can't move. I don't know why. Why didn't you just cut it off? Like, I had to verbally say that. Just cut it off, just cut it off. That's when I remember my adrenaline or the pain it started to register that I was in pain. I was like, just cut it off. I remember, like, just cut it off, you know, because at that point I was in pain, and I just screamed at her in agony. And it didn't make sense to me. So someone, please, if you are a nurse or physician seeing this and you've made it this far, again, please leave me. What is the protocol for all of that? Like, do you guys normally cut off clothes? What happens in that scenario? Because I didn't care about keeping my clothes. I will say that I was wearing a red t-shirt, gray sweat capris, and I just purchased these new Asic white and pink tennis shoes. Yeah. So I know that that sounds crazy, but these are things that have stuck with me in my memory, and it's just embedded in my memory. I remember certain particular things, and again, I know it sounds crazy to remember what someone was wearing, what I was wearing, or just vividly remembering certain things, but to me, that's just, I guess, how my brain works. So she cut off my clothes, and I can still remember the sports bra vividly that I was wearing. I just remember laying there and someone's cutting my clothes off in a hospital, and whew, doesn't seem like it should be that emotional, but I shouldn't be in that hospital. So yeah, it was pretty emotional at that moment. So of course I'm there, my husband comes, and I feel bad for my husband. He's at work, and they called his personal phone. I think the police officers called my husband's personal phone, I think 15 or 20 times. And I don't know exactly how someone was able to get a hold of him, but they did. And he was about 45 minutes, maybe an hour away. And he sped the whole way in his work truck to the hospital. Didn't get pulled over. He sped, and no one pulled him over. Thank God. Obviously, he would have told the police officers what happened, and had he gotten pulled over. And but he made it there, and I feel bad for him and how he must have been feeling, the fear, and how scared he must have been feeling in that moment, because I can't imagine being the person on the other end of that call. And I remember him coming in, and he is just in tears. He's crying and looking at me and giving me a kiss, and I don't know what I looked like, obviously, or how bad I looked, or the significance of my injuries. At this point, I didn't even know what injuries I had. Still, I had no idea what was wrong with me. And just seeing him cry, and I just remember telling him, "It's okay, I'm okay." I don't know if I actually verbally said that, but I remember saying that. And just him being scared. My husband doesn't cry. He's not an emotional person, and seeing him cry in fear, it broke my heart for him. Because you just don't want to see your wife or your husband or your spouse or your family member like that. And so that was hard on him, and it was even harder on me, but I'm so thankful for him. And so moving further along, so the injuries that I had my left ankle. Obviously my shoe flew off. That's obviously when I don't know if that happened when she hit me or when I hit the ground, and I just bounced back up. But my tennis shoe came off, okay? And my glasses were nowhere to be found. There was a rain gutter a little bit of ways off, or let me repeat that. Let me be grammatically correcter. There was a gutter or a drainage ditch. What do you call those things? Drain? Sewer drain. Oh my gosh. There was a sewer drain just a few feet from where I was hit. There was a field on the other side. When I tell you these people could not find my glasses, the firefighters looked, the police officers looked, my glasses were gone. They were nowhere to be found, which it's astonishing to me. It's astonishing to me that I can still see. So, but my shoe is gone, and so I busted my left ankle was busted open. That's where I was going with that. My left ankle was busted open. I had road rash on. I was wearing a t-shirt, and I had road rash on my shoulder. I'll insert a picture again. If this is trigger warning, just skip right through this. I'll post a picture of it. And my left eyebrow was busted open. the back of my head was busted open and the right side of my head was busted open. And of course I had just some internal bruising and contusions and things like that. I had contusions all over. My sternum wasn't cracked or anything, but something was wrong with it. Don't quote me, I'm not a medical doctor. I don't know the exact medical terminology about my sternum. Of course, whiplash, major concussion. I had a massive concussion, of course. Obviously, I fell on my head. So, they were going to have to give me stitches. I had 13 stitches, and they were going to have to numb me. Woo! That needle, that needle was, to me, it was like this. It was long. And that hurt. And you just, oh my Lord, it hurt. I can still feel the pain. Oh my Lord, it hurt. So, the numbing stuff didn't work. Didn't work. It didn't work. My dad and my husband were in the room with me when they gave me the stitches. Oh my God, it was so painful. Probably the most painful thing I've ever experienced in my life was those stitches. Getting them out was just as painful. So not only did they not clean me, they didn't clean my road rash, they didn't clean my ankle, nothing. Again, if you were a physician or nurse seeing this, can you please explain to me what is the protocol? I don't know. I just want to know. I'm curious. It just didn't make sense because I still was just caked in blood and just I wanted to be that. That just still bothers me to this day. So they were going to release me to go home that same day. That same night. I mean that night because by this time it was really late at night. I didn't want to go home. I did not want to go home. I begged the nurses to get the doctor for me. I was pleading. I was scared and I was crying. Please get the doctor. Please don't send me home. The nurses did not get the doctor for me. They refused. They thought I was fine to go home. I didn't think I was fine to go home. I wasn't fine to go home. In my state of mind, I wasn't okay to go home. I didn't think I was well enough. But they sent me home. If you're a physician or a nurse and you see this, can you please explain that to me? I really just want someone to explain it to me. So my husband set me up and they were handing my husband my discharge papers. My husband just kind of, obviously I've bled quite a bit, and he just happens to look and he said, "What's this?" And the nurse looks, and she looks at me and my husband, or my husband and me, or my husband and I, let me get my grammar correct. And she says, "Oh, did we miss that?" She said, "Oh, did we miss that?" Or, "Oh, we must have missed that." How are you going to be a trauma nurse and literally miss? You were about to send me home with a gash in my, not just a scratch or a cut, a gash in my head. And it just, please, if you're, comment below, if you're a nurse, physician, explain this to me. Does this happen? Should this happen in a trauma unit? I just need to know. So I did go home. They did send me home. I went home in some paper scrubs. I remember them putting me in the wheelchair, and I remember just being wheeled out to the car. And then, of course my husband, I don't know if my husband went to get the medications that I needed and the antibiotics and the pain medicine. I think it was my mother-in-law or him. I don't know. I just remember getting home. And I remember I didn't sleep for 6 days. And I had to sit I couldn't lay down. I could barely stand up. The next day is really when the pain set in, reality set in, fear set in. wasn't even angry. I just was scared. It was very traumatizing for me. I just couldn't believe that this was me and this was my reality. The pain was unbearable. I didn't shower I wouldn't let anybody touch me. I didn't want to be touched. I was in so much pain. So I didn't shower. I had blood caked in my hair for a week or more. I know that sounds gross, but I was so afraid I was in so much pain. I was afraid of infection and just where my mind was, I was afraid to have anybody touch me because I was in so much pain and I was in pain. I didn't want to be touched. I tried to take the pain medicine that they gave me, but I was highly allergic to 2 of them. So I didn't take it. We did end up we were advised to go see a lawyer. I will start that in part 2. Like I said, this is going to be in parts. I want to talk about the trauma, the emotional trauma. I want to talk about my court case because there was a lawsuit. I want to talk about how that takes place. I want to bring hopefully someone awareness that could use it and some informational, some good information. I want to share this with people. I want to hopefully help someone because sorry you guys, I'm right in front of a window and a pigeon just phew. You never know if they're gonna hit the window. Whew, that scared me. I will talk about my court case. I will talk about my lawsuit. I will talk about all of it. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comment section below. Please be kind. This took a lot of courage to share with everyone, with the world, and put this out there. This is something that wasn't easy for me by any means. I spent years dealing with this, and I still deal with this today. And I just want to bring awareness to hopefully someone that may not know in the case of something like this happening or any sort of accident, what they can do, what steps they can take, and what will take place, and all the information they may need. Someone was gracious enough to help me through my process, and because otherwise I wouldn't have known to even file a lawsuit I wouldn't have known better. And so I hope that these parts of the video will help someone else. I really hope that you guys give me a chance. I hope that you guys made it this far. I want to first say thank you before I end this video to everyone who's watched this and made it this far. If you've made it this far, can you please leave me a heart emoji in the comments and show some love. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I also just want to say that I'm thankful and grateful to be alive to tell my story and share my stories moving forward. I'm so grateful and so blessed, and I have that's something I've never forgotten. I'm lucky to be alive because so many pedestrians don't get a chance to tell their story. We see it on the news all the time. Pedestrians get hit by cars and they don't make it. I am so lucky to be alive and so blessed. The only reason I am alive and didn't have more significant injuries that I did not discuss earlier in the video is because I was relaxed. I didn't see her coming, and I was relaxed. Just as drunk drivers always don't have a lot of injuries because they are so relaxed. And so that's why my injuries weren't more significant or worse. I'm thankful and lucky to be alive. I'm so grateful and so blessed. I do not know why that woman hit me. I will never know why that woman hit me. I've never met her. I don't know who she is. I don't know anything about her. But I want to just again say thank you. Thank you so much for watching this. And in every video, at the end of my videos, I want to share a quote and something positive. You never know what someone's going through in life. And you don't know if someone's hearing positive affirmations or not, or getting praise or anything in their lives. So it's something that I want to share with everyone who sees these videos. So if you've seen this, please leave me a heart emoji if you've made it this far in the video, and let me know that you heard my quote. The quote that I want to leave you with today is, after all of this is over, you're going to come out stronger than ever before. After all of this is over, you're going to come out stronger than before. If you are going through anything, it doesn't matter what it is, or how significant or how bad it is, know that you can come out on the other side so strong and with great amount of strength and a story to tell and a story to share, and you may help someone else. Your strength may help someone else. I felt like this was fitting for today because this has taken me a lot of strength to share with the world, because it's such a vulnerable thing and people can be cruel and mean. But just know that whatever happens to you and whatever you're going through, you will come out stronger. I promise you.